Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management, joined by Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. Welcome back.
Good to be here, Danny.
Saw a magazine article titled 401k Plans, 10 Things You Should Know. Subhead was, when it comes to 401k plans, it's your money, but your boss and the government make the rules. 401ks are the most popular retirement account in the United States. 1/3 of workers had a 401k style account in 2020, about double the number of IRA accounts and triple those with pensions. We're going to run these 10 things by you, Tom. Check your reaction. The first is there are rules for 401k plans.
Danny,
Good.
There are so many rules, Danny, in these plans. So keep in mind that 401k plans are governed by the Department of Labor. The Internal Revenue Service is also very much involved in this. So there are thousands of pages of rules associated with retirement plans. So when you hear about things that retirement plans can or cannot do, you might be hearing about what's legal, but then you get into a question of, like you said, the government and your employer make the rules. So there's a question of which rules do they adopt for that specific plan. So it's very difficult to talk about this broadly because there are so many rules.
Number 2, early retirees can start withdrawals at age 55. Good, fine, right?
Depends on a number of conditions. So you have to be retired from the job that was in question. But yes, it gives you an opportunity to access that money at age 55 when the situation is permissible.
Number 3, taxes depend on the type of 401k.
Taxes depend on all sorts of stuff, Danny. But I think what they're talking about here is Roth versus pre-tax. And that's one thing that I think most people are starting to get a better feeling for. Most plans now do offer Roth. The one catch that we often have people get confused on, the income limitations on Roth contributions do not apply in 401k plans. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it depends on whether you're doing pre-tax or Roth. Either way, you're getting a tax benefit.
401k plans, 10 things you should know. Number 4, if your employer goes bankrupt, the funds could be frozen.
This one was a little, when I read that, I was like, wait a minute, what are they talking about here? And that's just a question. The funds are held separate in a trust, so you don't need to worry. Your funds are not in jeopardy, which is kind of what I read when I saw that headline. But what they're meaning is with the dissolution of a company, they might hold off on distributing the retirement money, but it would still be in your account and still be getting invested. So don't freak out about that one.
Yeah, that's much better. Number 5, your employer sets the investment options.
Yes, with most retirement plans, there's a broad spectrum of investments from which to choose. We actually play a very key role in this as well when we're acting as an investment fiduciary. So we make the menu, but then you get to choose how you're going to allocate your money among that menu of investments. And usually it's a pretty broad spectrum of stuff. So it sounds limiting, but it's really not a bad thing.
Number 6, moving to an IRA has become easier.
Well, with technology, you would think it's easier. Legislatively, they're trying to make it easier. That is, I think, an accurate statement, although people might not always feel like that's the case when they're having to move it from one place to the other, but I digress.
401k plans, 10 things you should know. Number 7, you can consolidate multiple 401k plans. You probably want to, right?
We usually tell people when you're leaving your employer, don't leave the money there. Bring it with you, whether that's rolling it into an IRA or rolling it into your new employer's plan. Your new employer's plan might have some restrictions on that, but for sure you can consolidate them into IRAs most of the time. I always have to be careful about saying sure, but yeah, generally speaking, good idea and easy to do.
Number 8, some plans allow loans in retirement.
That's a surprise, Danny, because generally speaking, that is not something, the way loans are paid back in 401k plans is very complicated. I tend to tell people to avoid taking loans from their 401k plan. Certainly, if you plan on paying that thing into retirement. I have not seen many plans that offer this, so don't count on it.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't heard much of that either. Number 9, RMDs apply, but rules are changing, and this is really in flux, isn't it?
Yeah, for the longest time, it was 70 and a half. That's when required minimum distributions, you had to start taking them. Then Secure Act changed it to 72, then Secure Act 2.0. brought in the age 73. Just understand that at some point in your 70s, when you're retired, you're going to have to start taking money out, whether you want to or not. At that point in time, hopefully you're working with an advisor and they're walking you through all that stuff.
401k plans, 10 things you should know. Number 10, incorrect beneficiary listings create headaches. How many times have we heard this story?
Well, I guess the good news is, Danny, it only creates headaches for the people who survived, not the person who improperly filled out the beneficiary form. But yeah, please do keep an eye on that because it's just unnecessary headaches. It's easy enough these days to make sure that you're on top of your beneficiary form.
And we've said it before, and we're going to say it again, benefits matter. How does the Retirement Plan Services team at Annex Wealth Management provide that value for company owners or CFOs and HR professionals?
Thankfully, we've got a big team, Danny, and it goes from helping employers understand their fiduciary responsibilities. We already talked a little bit about helping with the investment selection for those employers, but then helping the employees with their investment selection and financial planning. It takes a lot of people, and we're very fortunate to have a lot of those people here at Annex.
You know, every time you see an opening posted, what do they say? 401k plan, right?
It's very near the top of the list of benefits, if not at the top of most postings.
For investment, retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary, know the difference. Our website, annexwealth.com, click that Get Started button. Start that wealth metric process. Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. Thanks for joining us.
Look forward to talking to you again soon, Danny.